I would like to thank all of our supporters for standing by us during the aftermath of the unexpected events that occurred on Friday, December the 11th, 2015. Many have spoken in regards to the events of December the 11th. There's also been a news article printed in the News Journal, which we have read, concerning this issue. This is our public statement about what occurred on December the 11th, 2015. Richard Raw Productions curated an all-ages hip-hop concert to be held on December the 11th at Theater Inn at Nemours. This concert starred Richard Raw with special performing guests from Baltimore, Washington, D.C., and here in Wilmington. On November 3rd, more than 1 month before the date of the concert, Richard Raw Productions followed all protocol required by Theater Inn to secure their venue. On the night of the concert, the Richard Raw Productions team arrived at Theater Inn about 2 hours before the show was to begin. We set up all technical equipment, various other concert components, and we performed a sound check. At 9 p.m., attendees of the concert began to arrive. Soon thereafter, the DJ, who used his own sound equipment, not the sound system of the theater, began to play music. Between about 9 p.m. and 9:20 p.m., people came into the theater for the show. Sometime around 9:15 or 9:20, I was pulled away from the theater by the manager of Theater Inn and an unknown woman. It was at that time that I was specifically advised that the owners of the building received a complaint that my music advocated the killing of police officers. The unknown woman verbally agreed with the manager of Theater Inn. This is the only complaint or issue that was explained to us. We at Richard Raw Productions were not advised the night of December the 11th that there was ever a noise complaint. We were, however, aware of a movie being incorrectly scheduled at a time that would overlap with our occupancy of the theater. It is our understanding that the manager at Theater Inn spoke to the moviegoers and resolved this issue of inconvenience with them. When we vacated the building, it was specifically because we were being held accountable for a negative, unsubstantiated, and completely untrue complaint about my music. I would like to repeat that we were never advised of any noise issue being the reason for our removal from the theater. In addition, we were completely unaware of any stipulation preventing Theater Inn from having live concerts, as I, Richard Raw, have participated in a live performance there in the past. Also, it was clearly understood when I submitted the contract and made payment what activity we planned to have in the theater. In addition, the manager of the theater remained with us the entire time we were there and found no issue with the event. Before I alerted attendees that the concert was canceled, the manager of the theater made phone calls in a sincere attempt to resolve the issue. In one call, where she spoke to the mayor's office director of cultural affairs, she requested that we be able to use the Lewis L. Reddy City County building as an alternative. Despite the City County building not being a theater or having the amenities needed to produce a truly quality event, we still relocated and held the concert in the lobby. Many people who arrived at the theater chose to go home instead of relocating to the City County building, and many who were alerted through social media and the move decided to go home and stay home to avoid this chaos. There have been many reasons given to explain why the concert was forcefully moved from Theater Inn to the City County building. What we know for a fact is that there was a complaint issued about the content of my music. We also know that there were complaints about many who entered the building for the concert. In addition, we have been told that there may have been complaints from moviegoers who were unable to see the incorrectly scheduled film. According to the information that we received at the time the event was relocated, We were told to leave the building because of the completely untrue, I stress untrue, mischaracterization of my music. At Richard Raw Productions, we pride ourselves on producing quality, cultural, artistic, and educational events. I am a community activist and hip-hop artist who creates positive music that can be appreciated by diverse groups of people regardless of age, sex, or ethnicity. I work with the youth through my program Beyond Those Bars, where I use hip-hop as a teaching tool. And at this time, I want to take this moment, this situation, as a teaching tool as well. Hip-hop has a stigma that is nearly impossible for some to shake. Hip-hop is a beautiful music. It's a beautiful musical art form that, like anything else, can be used for positive or negative. I use hip-hop in a positive way to uplift the community, support cultural pride, and teach our young men and women how to be productive members of our society. Prejudice, discrimination, and bias often shapes views of how we view each other, specifically people of color and their cultural art forms. While I do not have sufficient information to support that the events of December the 11th were based on prejudice or bias, I can say that in this society, we are bombarded every day with images and social messages designed to shape our thoughts and actions. Just think about our own city, Wilmington, Delaware, and the derogatory title it has been given of Murder Town. While there is violence in our community, Wilmingtonians know that Wilmington is more than Murder Town. It is a beautiful city that, like any other, must deal with crime and violence. The title Murder Town is designed to create a specific narrative aimed to shape views and opinions of the public. The same goes for certain demographics, like people of color and hip-hop community. Mainstream media such as news outlets, television shows, mainstream music, and commercials work to frame what we think, how we feel, and how we act. It is through this intentional, systematic framing that certain people are unjustly profiled and mistreated. While we have come a long way in the area of race and cultural relations, we must remain brutally honest and admit that we have far to go. We cannot afford to ignore issues concerning racism, classism, prejudice, and bias. In order to elevate Wilmington as a society as a whole, we must continue this dialogue and put in the necessary work to break down the negative narratives we are forced to encounter every day. In addition, we can no longer ignore those like myself who work on the grassroots level trying to effect change in our community. We, the grassroots, we want to invest with sincere hearts and minds in our people who are victims of the deeply ingrained ideologies that support racial, cultural, and class bias. I refuse to allow those who suffer from the aftermath of generation after generation of discrimination and mistreatment to be exploited and unnecessarily mischaracterized. So in conclusion, I would like to thank all of those who rallied behind me and spoke out against this injustice. I would like to send a special thank you to Councilwoman Dr. Hanifa Shabazz for her swift and thorough assistance with this situation. Councilwoman Shabazz has been by our side since the beginning, and for that, I am appreciative. I would also like to send a special thanks to Councilwoman Maria Cabrera, Will Minster of Downtown Visions, Michael Kalmbach of the Creative Vision Factory, Ivy Smith, Ray Avery Jones of Christina Cultural Arts Center, and all of those who stood by our side and supported us. Now I ask that we make a commitment to use this situation as a starting point to demand change and social constructions that leave those deemed powerless in compromising and unjust positions. Let us continue to remain true to who we are, exhibit our art forms in any positive way that we desire, and demand respect and support in our communities and beyond. Thank you all for coming out.